Welcome everybody to a special, I'm going to say special edition of the Love and Reality podcast. We here last night's episode was one insane episode, but there's a lot to unpack of what happened. There's a lot to unpack of how we feel about what happened, but there's also more to unpack on why we waited 24 hours to really dive into this episode because there was a lot that happened that really could have been said last night. But Love Island episode 24 was probably one of the most explosive episodes of the season. But before we dive in, I'm joined by my podcast partner here. Ashley, how are you?
I'm good. I'm actually really good. I needed that 24 hours to get my mind right before we came on here. But I'm good.
Yeah, it was definitely, I think I have the episode 26, everybody. Sorry for those of you. Episode 26 it was. But episode 26. But even so, like I was saying though, episode 26, it was the mailman episode, I guess you could call, you know what I mean? Steve was out there with Blues Clues saying, you just got a letter. You just got a letter. And people, let me tell you, it was messier than I even thought it was going to be, I think.
We weren't prepared for this.
No, not at all. Because if everybody recalls, we shared a list of the biggest couples, the highest rated couples or whatever it was, and I don't have the list right now, but like I remember I'm sitting here looking at this and I made the list, or I looked at the list and I was like, all right, well, I want to give my fully formed opinion of who I believe should be where on this rankings. And you know what I mean? Swipe right in the couple you're feeling the most. Amaya and Zach were 1, Iris TJ 2, Sierra Nick 3, Huda Chris 4, Jaden Austin 5, Shelly A6, Andriana, I don't know, Brian were 7, Grayson, Pepe, Clark and Taylor were 9. And then like a full 24 hours later, not even full 24 hours, like right after the episode was over, I hated almost everybody. And I was like, my whole entire, like, who I like, who I didn't like was changed, right?
I feel like I don't even know anybody anymore.
it was, yeah. I mean, and it's kind of really hard to figure out where we start, but obviously we started with Austin. And we'll just kind of unpack some of the things that were said, right? To Austin from Anonymous, I don't know how you've made it this far enjoying your time in the villa.
I mean they said what we were thinking. They said what we were thinking. I don't understand how he's still on the show.
I just want to throw it out here and say that I was the one that wrote this.
I honestly, when they read it, I was like, did Ricky send that overnight?
Yeah, and to credit Andriana, is it Andriana? Adrina. I'm gonna stop saying it. Just whenever I go to say her name, Ashley's gonna say
just say I'm like Adrina.
Adrina came forward and said it was her that said it. And the people that stood on business, good for them. You know what I mean? Good for them. You know what I mean? But Sierra was up there. To Nick and Sierra, you know how not to be quiet while you're in the bedroom. I mean, that didn't really surprise me, but this is where I have to get your opinion. To Shelly, Alandria, and Shelly. I don't know why you sent Hannah home. Sierra, and then Sierra unpacked it with Hannah, Iris, and Amaya were the ones that we wanted to look at. She laid out Amaya didn't have a chance yet. Iris was exploring TJ, and that was the reason why they picked Hannah. There's a lot of people that didn't think that this explanation did anything that proved what they were trying to get. So what did you think of Sierra? I appreciated her standing up there and being honest about what unfolded, but how did you feel and how did you take what she said?
I feel like she tried it. Like, she was trying to explain it, but it really, I didn't hear anything. All I heard was excuses as to why they sent Hannah home, because Hannah should still be here.
Yeah, Sierra's explanation made no sense at all from Savannah in the chat. There's been so much of that I've seen all over social media, and I can't agree more. Like, there's a part of me that appreciates the fact that she stood up there with the explanation of, I mean, somebody, I don't remember who said it, but somebody was like, it was one hell of a PR answer. I was like, it really was. Like that was like a PR trained answer if I've ever seen one in my
For
life.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, Alandria and Shelly backed her up. I mean,
Pepe didn't have anything to say.
no, Pepe's
He
the one
was
that
like, "Oh,
I
okay."
still didn't make any. It didn't make any. It made about as much sense to Pepe as
Mm-mm.
it did to the rest of us.
Mm-hmm.
This is where things got crazy, right? This is where things got really, really crazy because Amaya went. And we all know that the world has an obsession with Amaya, Papaya. And I'm going to say it just like that because I love saying it like that, even though people want to criticize how I say Papaya. But
I love Amaya. I was ready. I was ready to go to war for her.
so I want, and again, as I know, you do love Amaya, and I don't not love Amaya. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, I like Amaya. And the thing about it is, I do think she is a little bit much, but at the same time, she's going to be perfect for the right person. You know what I mean? And she had some
Exactly.
incredible one-liners, like "I'm not your cup of tea to be drinking." Like what? So don't
So
fucking
don't fucking drink it. That's right, Amaya. I was like, it's like she had these waiting. These are like the quotes she puts on Instagram.
But
I just feel like I didn't like them ganging up on her. In my mind, Zach needs to go.
I want to say this. I want you to remember who mentioned on this podcast that Zach was no good for Amaya. And everybody was like, oh man, Zach. And I was like, no.
Because it's the physical. It's the physical. Everybody saw the physical and was like, oh, maybe he's a go.
Zach was trying to keep his spot in this house. Period.
But can we talk about how he just said to Alandria, if I have an issue with anything, I would talk to my partner when we got home or between you and I. But he chose to say what he said to Amaya in front of 20 people.
Yeah. And that seemed to be a tone with some of what we saw in this episode, right? You know what I mean? Ace I didn't love Ace kind of chiming in here. But Ace is Ace. I'm not shy about criticizing somebody that I like being wrong in a moment.
So do you feel like what was the reason for him attempting to get up to speak to her when Amaya ran away?
I do think that he felt empathy. I do think that he felt empathy in that moment. I do believe that he realized in that moment that maybe he shouldn't have went too hard, and then um, everybody else realized that, and then Ace kind of was like, oh man, I felt like I was just piling on top of it. And Zach was out of control here. Like Zach was beyond out of control. You know what I mean? Dwayne says Amaya's getting picked on because she's a fan favorite.
I agree with you, Dwayne.
It's to me, it's weird to just kind of unpack that whole entire scene because at the end of the day, like nothing, even if you think that she is a little much, she's a little loud, but who cares? At the end of the day, like she's got an opportunity. She's on the show. She's making things happen. She's shaking things up. And you know what? She gets a little bit emotional. It is what it is.
And shout out to Brian for having her back.
Yeah, Brian stood on business. Shout out to him. That was the first time I was like, oh man. I literally was sitting here like, oh, somebody, no, just let her be herself. Exactly, Aaliyah. Is tonight's show. No, there's no show tonight.
No show.
This is the show tonight.
Yes, this is the show. Tell your friends, tell a friend to tell a friend.
Exactly. And the big thing with that is, right? So the big thing with him standing on business, I was like, first, who is this guy again? I forgot. But in that moment, it was good to see people stand up for other people. This happened several times throughout this entire thing, and we'll talk obviously more about that in a minute. But I felt bad for Amaya because at the end of the day, like she is just a good person. You know what I mean? Like she's one of the few, I believe, that are on here actually looking for a connection and actually looking to grow a connection. I think if you asked Amaya, do you want $100,000 or would you want a relationship? I feel pretty confident that Amaya would probably seek the relationship if the right person came across. And I don't think that person's in this villa. I just don't.
And like a little part of me wants Amaya, like I don't want her off the show, but like say, I don't know if you know this, but at the end, when they win, they can choose to split it.
Mm-hmm.
I know she's gonna split that money. You can just tell, like in her, the way she is genuinely.
That's who she is as a person. Yeah.
Yeah. So I just hope no one like plays with her heart. Really, I really do like Amaya.
Yeah, exactly, and that's the big thing. Then we had Pepe on the stage, and someone called him out for playing it safe. This leads to what we see a Grayson and Pepe weird fight. Like this was a weird dynamic. I was so yeah, King Cass said I think Ace tried to explain his side of any of the situation ended bad, and Zach jumping in just ruined it. Yeah, exactly. It just
King Cash.
became
That's
too
exactly
much
what it
too
was.
fast. The Grayson and Pepe thing was weird to me because she's all in her feels because he might still be in his feels for Hannah, and he could be blocking her connection or whatever. I don't know. I don't really care for Grayson. I like Pepe, but him turning down.
Yeah.
Him turning. You were supposed to say
no.
No.
Alandria. Oh, not Alandria. Andrea.
Yeah.
Andrina.
Yes. So yeah.
Listen, I like Pepe, but I think it's time for him to go home to Hannah because obviously, like, he's still stuck on that connection with Hannah, which is great. Like, but if that was the case, he could have left with her.
Yeah, Pepe wrote himself to break it to her easier. This
Oh,
was
imagine.
This was one of the biggest running theories on the internet was Pepe wrote that because nobody ever came out to admit to what he said that he's playing it safe. So, because of that, everybody has the theory that Pepe wrote it to himself. Like if that's not the number one question asked to Pepe whenever Pepe leaves, somebody's doing it wrong. But yeah. All right, moving right along. Pepe's Pepe, right? All right, and Dwayne, you did bring it up here, and that's what we're going to shift to next. We're going to shift to the king of the castle, as we'll call him, Mr. Ace. He had himself a moment, and I want to compare this moment. If you ever watch, yeah, exactly. To me, it's like Pepe isn't impressed by none of them. Maybe he thought he would find another connection, but none of them could top Hannah. Exactly, they had a real connection.
Pepe's very mature too. You can tell. Like
Hannah even was like saying, "Hey, she'd probably like to explore things." So the first thing that Ace got was if you and Shelly are so strong, why haven't you closed off things? Ace said he isn't going to force her to close off things if she doesn't want to. Business. Stood on business. It's a fact. I'm sorry. This is what we like to say. Fact over feelings, period. You know what I mean? Again, don't come exactly. Don't King Cass says don't come at the short king unless you're ready.
Yeah, for sure.
Ace was ready to stand on business. And I understand there's certain elements of his conversations that maybe went a little bit overboard to certain things, but Austin calls him out and says, people suck up to you. And everybody's afraid of you and blah, 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 blah. And Ace had his King Kong ain't got shit on me Denzel Washington moment when he went off on Austin. And let's point out, I think people are discrediting when he says to Adriana and says, hey, did you think Jeremiah came on a little strong? And she said, yes.
So that right there made me think that Ace and Andrina had this conversation. It just wasn't shown.
Yes.
Then I felt bad for my boy Jeremiah because he's out here.
He catching
in
strays.
America. And no, he's in America saying like, if she leaves single, he already followed her. He's ready to see where things go.
Yeah, Jeremiah caught a stray and he wasn't even trying to out there. But it's all Austin's fault. Austin sucks. Listen, Austin ain't it. Austin ain't the one. You ain't going to come at Ace and expect to win. You know what I mean? She meant he came off strong. Ace turned it into Jeremiah love bombing. That was a little much. He did.
Yes, for sure, Leah.
Yes, I do, but nobody ever gets the corrects the record. Yeah, I do agree. He came out a little strong. Love bombing. They are two totally different things.
There's a
And
bad
I will
game of
say
telephone.
that. How he wasn't. Yeah. You know, I'm not saying he was love bombing. I'm just saying Ace was catching. Was Jeremiah was catching strays, and he's not even there anymore, basically. But Ace stood up and stood on business. Stood up there, took it on the chin, even knowing. You know what I mean? Did he go a little bit overboard with some of his comments? Yeah, but Ace had that moment in his mind played out for the 4 hours prior of it. He was practicing his. I can guarantee you, he's looking in the mirror. He was looking in the mirror and was like, you know what? This is what I'm going to say. He practiced his speech like 45 times before he went up there. There's no way he didn't. But he, you know, A stands on business. We know that. Do we have one of? We don't have one of a little Shelly up here, do we? No. We're just going to put we'll just put the girls up here for now. All right. Now we'll just take everybody down for a minute. This is where things get a little bit. And then I don't understand why you want to put boundaries set, but want to explore the things with other people. Ace said that to Shelly. I need Ashley your full opinion on this entire situation. So Ace wrote, I don't understand why you want to put boundaries set, but want to explore things with other people. Ace said that to Shelly on her card.
I know. I kind of feel like he's right. But like also, if Ace wants to, you know, be with just Shelly, why not close things off?
Because she won't.
Honestly, I think Shelly likes people fighting over her. She likes it.
Okay.
It's been like that since the beginning of the season. It's Ace and Austin. Now it's Ace and Chris.
But the thing about it is what we exposed is that Chris and Huda, or Chris and Shelly haven't really talked since Casa. So what is she trying to figure out about Chris that makes her not want to block off and be closed off with Ace? That's where I'm confused. This is where I think Shelly got exposed, because again, if Shelly is exploring the relationship with Chris because they have a connection, which cool, like that's the purpose of the show. But it was specifically called out that why haven't you talked? Brian called Shelly out. Why haven't you talked to Chris since Casa to Shelly? And then she made up an excuse about how he hasn't come up to her and blah, 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 blah. But the thing about it is, she said the intentions weren't followed through. She said he's avoided her. Where? Like, what is going on? Like, why won't you block it off with Ace then? Then that means your connection with Ace ain't that strong. And you don't believe in that connection, even though you claim that you believe in that connection. But then you were seeing montages of her talking. I don't know who I'm going to pick. Am I going to pick Ace or am I going to pick Chris? This is a hard decision. Well, how's it a hard decision if you haven't talked to Chris?
She likes the chase. That's just, and I love Shelly. But she likes the chase. And now it's a problem.
She's down bad right now. If Ace was so frustrated, he would have turned this challenge into a love letter or something. But instead, he doesn't understand why he's so mad about Chris and Huda. Isn't episode 26? Please hold, everybody. Episode 26 was last night.
Yes.
Episode 27 will be tomorrow night. So my thing is this. Yeah, exactly. Okay, hold on. Let me reread King Cash's comments again. If Ace wasn't frustrated, he would have turned this challenge into a love letter or something, but he doesn't understand why she's so mad about Chris and Huda. I completely misread that. Exactly. That's where it's confusing. And I know Ashley sent me the quote, or I want to bring this up. This is a perfect segue for this, Ashley. We would play the clip if we could. Obviously, we can't for copyright purposes, but there's proof going around. Everybody keeps saying that Huda didn't show interest in Chris at all until after the changeover, which is not true. He approaches Shelly. Ashley, break it down for everybody.
So Huda approached Shelly and said, pretty much she's feeling Chris and she wants to explore things with him. And Shelly pretty much gave her the green light. So now I'm confused because that's total opposite of what Shelly said to Huda last night.
Yeah, because she started going crazy about everything and yeah, it just I don't know. And then of course Shelly said, "Huda got one. Do you remember? It's just a challenge." There's never going to be a right answer to this. Shelly was in Casa talking about Ace. She didn't want Chris. No, she just wanted. I. This is how I felt, and I swear I said this on the show. And Ashley can correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe I just said it to you. I could have sworn I said she wanted to see how Ace would react to Chris being in the picture. That's what it was. She wants to see the jealous Ace. She wants to see the Ace. What is he going to do? Is he going to step up to the plate? And the thing about it is he has. He's been consistently there. He's been consistently doing for her. He hasn't changed anything at all. And what did she do with Chris since then? Nothing.
And I agree with you, Aaliyah. She wants Chris to want her. But now that Chris is basically over her, it's a problem.
It's a problem. And again, she stood on business. I don't know. She said it was, and then of course, Ace watching all the girls question why Chris isn't chasing Shelly is crazy. He should have saved Coco. He should have.
Didn't he bring that up yesterday?
Yeah, he did. He said, I literally sent home my connection so that I could focus more on you. Like, hello.
Kind of a slap in the face.
Hello. And he hasn't approached anybody else since him and Shelly became a couple. Coco was the only one, but that was because we were in Casa. Like, we had to split houses. So, and when he came back, who did he pick? He had to pick between Shelly and Coco. Who did he pick? He picked Shelly. Period. All right. The whole thing with Shelly and Huda. This is another thing that I have issue with. Okay. This was only addressed during this competition, the male competition, because Shelly actively avoided Huda the entire time. The entire time.
Well, I'm not a big Huda fan. I know you are a Huda fan. But I will say, I didn't like how that whole situation went down. I think that Shelly should have definitely had the conversation with her, because then it turned into they had to talk about it in the challenge, and now it looks like super crazy. They should have had this conversation together, separate, not with other people around.
For sure. King Cash said 3 times he really liked Coco, but already let his boundaries with, let down his boundaries with Shelly. Exactly. Serenity, Ace deflected and didn't answer the question, so don't give him too much credit. I'll give Ace all the credit, but I don't. But also Ace fell short in some areas also during the competition. Again, it's the difference here is the people that there's people that can't take criticism whenever you're talking about these individuals, right? I can sit here and say, I like Huda. I do. I'm a big Huda fan. However, is Huda and has Huda been perfect on this show? Absolutely not. She's not. But I can criticize her and I can criticize Ace. If everybody remembers correctly, I wanted Ace off the show early on. Yes, he's not 5'10". I totally agree. And well, listen, and Macy, my thoughts on Sierra, and I think they're going to come very shortly as we get to Huda's turn. We're about to switch to Huda's turn. Ace likes throwing around the world love bombing, but someone is mental health. Ace is gaslighting. I don't disagree with that. I don't disagree that there's certain elements of gaslighting. Ace. I mean, Jeremiah even said he didn't fit into the clique. That's it. You know what I mean? It's Nick, it's Ace, it's Taylor.
But Ace is the ringleader. You have to say Ace is the ringleader. But you got to keep in mind, these are grown adults.
Yes.
They can choose not to follow behind Ace.
But let's not forget, the girls have their own clique too. Sierra, Shelly, Alandria.
It's true.
Okay. Huda's turn. I feel like Hannah was robbed from the experience twice from Nick. Here we go. This is my official announcement on this. Okay. Nobody knows. Everybody knows how much I love Nick. I'm a big Nick guy. I love Nick. Nick's my guy. Nick's the dude. However, this pissed me off. See, again, me criticizing somebody I love here, guys. We could learn from it. At the end of the day, why in the world did he pull her for a chat and say, you know what? I saw growth in her, only for him to call her out moments later? Made no sense. And just period. It
I'm
pissed
not
me
gonna
off.
lie. I was happy that happened and that you saw that. Because I know that you're a Nick fan, but you need to see that side of Nick that he is very two-faced. This isn't the first time he's done something like this.
I feel like I'm being exposed on the podcast here. What are we doing here? What are we doing here?
With Huda, this isn't the first time he's done something like this.
What is going on right now?
I'm just saying. Snakes in the chat.
Yeah. It's in the chat. Oh, DJ's here. Oh, God, we're in trouble. DJ has arrived. Oh, boy. Nick has been doing it all season. He went from uncle over kids to voting her out.
Thank you, King Cash. He did. She's like, I'm a mommy, a mamacita. Oh, you're a new uncle, blah, blah, blah. But now he's like, do you like her or do you not like her?
Can I pull an ace and change the question? Or what? Can we change the topic? I'm kidding.
Listen.
No, I get it. Maybe she's Serenity says Shelly is an openly queen. Her past relationship had polymerius, so maybe she's struggling committing to one person, let alone one guy. I can understand that, but there's no other guy. It's just Ace. Chris isn't in the picture. We define that. Yes, Ashley defending Huda against the whole group. All right, he defended the Huda against the whole group. Here we go. All right, so back to Huda. Okay, so there's a few other moments. I'm not even done here with Huda, right? Do you feel like you've been following girl code? This whole situation again was absolutely positively insane. Okay.
Are we gonna speak about the kiss exposure?
This is part of it, right? So
okay.
Here it is, right? This is exactly right. How are you gonna be? Let's just read off a few of them, right?
Okay.
If you're gonna preach about being a girl's girl, you should practice what you preach. Let's see here. And then this is the moment where Alandria brought up Chris and Huda kissing. What? Ashley, you're a girl's girl. A girl. Girl's girl. I don't know. Maybe you are a girl's girl. I don't know.
Me personally, if you're a girl's girl, you don't have to say it.
Right.
You don't have to say, I'm a girl's girl. So X, Y, and Z. It's just actions. And I feel like Alandria probably shouldn't have said anything.
That's breaking girls' code.
Because that was like a conversation she was having with her. I'm happy that Huda spoke up. No, I'm still not a Huda fan, but I'm just saying. I'm happy she spoke up and said something to Alandria that, hey, the next time I tell you something, keep it between us. But I will say, Sisterly Recap said that Chris lied about not telling anyone that him and Huda kissed because he did tell Brian.
Yeah, but that was his boy. That's boys. That's boys. We're boys.
No, but he sat there and said, I didn't even tell anybody.
I don't disagree with the lying aspect of things, but you tell your boys, you know what I mean? Like,
of course, especially if you like someone, you're like, hey, let me tell you what.
But I mean, no difference. I mean, Huda went and told 3 girls, right? You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know what I mean? Again, but at the end of the day, Alandria was wrong. Period. End of story. And I get that. They're fed up with Huda and the anger is coming out. However, this is not the time to call out. Huda didn't do anything wrong here. Huda didn't do anything with Chris wrong. And they ate her up because they said that she didn't care about her. She said she brought her in there so she can explore it. She's literally told Chris, hey, if you want to explore things with Shelly, go explore things with Shelly. But as we learned, since Casa, Chris and Shelly have not had very many conversations. The closest interaction they've had since Casa is them making out twice during the competition. Going back for seconds was disrespectful to Ace. Don't care what anybody says either, and that too. But at the end of the day, they have not spoken. So there is no Ace There is no Shelly and Chris. There's no such thing.
I totally agree with you, Dwayne. He said because they should have eliminated Huda weeks ago.
No, they shouldn't
She
have.
should have been gone.
Chris and Huda are gonna win this thing. Y'all are gonna get real mad. I can't wait.
And that's the thing. And I know you saw what I wrote on Threads.
Rude.
I'm Team Chris, but I'm not Team Huda. I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's fine. But that's the thing, though, that's perfectly fine. I'm okay with that. My thing is this, right? I can understand why people do not like Huda. Period. She is an acquired taste. I do believe that her and Amaya are the only girls on this show that I really pay attention to that are here for the right reasons. Also, DJ, that was kind of funny as hell. Huda put the lips on Ace, not the ones on her face.
I saw it. I saw it in 4K. I agree with you. So you're saying that Huda and Amaya are the only ones here for love?
I think they're the only ones there for love. Yeah. I would never watch Love Island again if Huda wins. I do, and that's Aaliyah makes a good point there, right? Huda just puts her foot in her mouth. Just be quiet sometimes. I agree with that. There's times where she should shut it down, right? You know what I mean?
It's like she's always apologizing. She's always like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I did this. I saw." But like, girl, are you sorry, or are you just saying that? Are you not learning from your mistakes?
But then can we talk about again? But let's not talk about it in a minute. And we'll talk about why she did what she did. But a few moments later, we see Huda stick up for Alandria with Taylor. After getting her ass ripped apart by those three girls, she stood up and stood on business and still called out Taylor.
Because Huda wants to be accepted by Alandria, Shelly, and Sierra. She wants to be in that friend group. That's what's killing her right now. Every time you're seeing her cry,
she's an OG.
To talk to Shelly,
of course she would.
Yeah, Shelly is the ringleader of one group. Ace is the ringleader of the other group. And she doesn't want to be left behind.
Huda must stay in the conversation. I agree with that too. Yeah. And I agree with that. Like, it's crazy to me because, again, at the end of the day, there's lies being spilled about Huda. Huda's far from perfect, and I agree with that so much. But Chris standing up for her, incredible. And incredible. Yeah.
Casey, right. that may be right, Casey. The editing of how they showed it. Casey said, I think that was editing. I think Taylor wasn't last in the lineup, but editing wise, they put him last because it had the most drama.
Yeah, I could be. There was because first off, Zach never went, and there's a picture on the internet. I went to get some pictures. We're talking about him next, DJ. To me, there's a picture of Zach on on NBC's website of standing in front of everybody reading off a card, and he never did. That was completely edited out.
There you go.
You can tell she doesn't have any real friends. Always around men. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, and you know what? Come on. She likes validation from men.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Jimmy, I'm with you on that. No one deserves to win this season, 100%.
All right, Alandria.
I don't even know what to begin with this one.
From Clark, I think you are a test and our connection is more than that. You think I'm a test and our connection is more than that, she said. Actually, I don't think really she wasn't up there very long. You know what I mean? She didn't say much. So we're going to move on to the belle of the ball, to the king of the party, to the man of the hour. You know what? One thing I didn't see is hang on. See, also, first off, we can read this card, by the way. I've never actually zoomed in this. Stand on business and stop acting like a little bitch. Can I ask a question? Is Alandria allowed to call Taylor a bitch, but Huda's not allowed to call Jeremiah a bitch? Just asking. Just asking. Is calling someone a test rude? Just asking. Just asking. I'm just asking.
That is.
It's just a question.
No, I know. I do think that that's rude.
Because they went off a little bit on Huda. And again, she was wrong. She should have never called Jeremiah a bitch. But the people that have the double standards, exactly, just asking for a friend, that's the problem.
That is true, DJ. Alandria wasn't screaming it for 3 hours.
It doesn't matter, though. Calling a man a bitch is a bitch, but you cannot complain about Huda calling Jeremiah a bitch, and I'm not doing it. You know what I mean?
No, of course. I agree with that. Like, I would never call a man a bitch. Like,
actually, I didn't even think about that. Aaliyah said she read the card. He made him call man and called himself a bitch in front of the class.
That was
I think you can get away with it one time. Oh, man. Y'all are killing me in this chat. But all right. And then Alandria, I reassured him every single day. Alandria looked awful in this moment. God, can she not catch a clue? You know what I mean? This man don't like you. And to end it all.
But my thing is, why aren't Shelly and Ciara telling her, girl, he doesn't move on from, because that's what I would tell my friend. Like, he doesn't like you. I don't want my friends looking stupid.
Yeah, Savannah, I agree with you. Now I'll say Alandria brought up all the beef this time in a time where it was one. Totally agree, 100%. She stood on business at the right time. Hey, look at that. Holy moly. Hey, I take back what I said last time. I'm on Huda's side now. Let's go. Yeah, it's kind of, Dwayne, I agree with you. So I had the theory, and I talked about it here on the show with everybody, the difference here. So for me, that night when they were eliminating somebody, and they brought in the two people, it was Alandria. I forget who the other two people with her. DJ, I'm going to talk about Taylor and stand on business in a minute. Alandria should have walked out of that house that night. Hey, I see that he picked Clark. And if he can pick Clark after 3 days over me, after 3 weeks, I haven't really explored anybody else. It's my time to go. Adios. Nick and her weren't a thing. She was already technically voted out once. No thanks. But instead, as it was mentioned here, somebody said it. Dwayne's like they brought her back to embarrass her. It almost feels like that.
That's what it feels like. Like, I feel bad. Like, if I was her, I'd be like, listen, I'd sit down with production. Like, I think it's time for me to go home because this is too much. And then they can have whatever his name is that narrates the show.
Yeah.
Ian say, Alandria went home in the middle of the night.
Yeah, DJ, I agree with you. There's nobody walking away with $100,000. Yeah, we're walking away from a chance at $100,000. I agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, let's be real. It's $100,000. If we're splitting between two people, it's like 50 grand, and we're splitting that up. It's really about staying on the show for brand deals and getting that followers up and stuff like that. But yeah. Also, we have to talk about the minute. They were at Taylor. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. Make up your mind. What do you do, Ashley?
I choose Clark.
If that man had a microphone in his hand, he would have dropped it.
Definitely.
Insane to me. It was the
I was
drop
surprised.
Moment.
That was the first time I've actually seen Taylor stand up for himself, to be honest.
Yeah.
He said it with his chest.
Whole ass chest.
And Clark was just sitting there grinning. Like,
man, the pan
she was in her glory.
They asked and Taylor answered. My jaw was, I wasn't expecting it either. You know, I don't know what I was really expecting from Taylor in the moment, but from everything that we've seen for the 25 episodes previous, I would have never believed Taylor would have stood up in front of everybody and was like, yeah, I choose Clark.
You know what it is? I feel like he's been holding that in for a minute.
Yeah.
I feel like
you're just attracted to unstable girls. Nothing wrong with that if you like chaos. God damn.
Serenity. Ricky likes a little chaos.
Jesus Lord. I'm getting called out in the middle of my own podcast here. I love it. Thank you, Serenity. Taylor's like, you don't want me to choose because it's not going to be you, girl. Exactly. Yeah, Clark hasn't feel exactly. And can we talk also, Ashley, I want your opinion. You're a woman in this scenario, right? He was talking about how Clark made her kind of feel like a kid again, right? It was kind of his verbiage, and it was kind of criticized. I don't think, shut up, DJ. I don't feel like that, in my opinion, his words might not have been minced correctly, but I didn't think it was necessarily wrong. You know what I mean? Like a comfort feeling, a home feeling, and something like that. You know?
Yeah, I honestly think that's what he meant. I see Dwayne wrote, all she could do was clap. Unfortunately, I was thinking about you, Ashley, because Ashley was Team Taylor. Then I was off of Team Taylor. And now I'm like, Taylor's standing on business.
Also, I would have, man, can we talk about for 5 seconds about how awesome it would have been if Huda would have been like, who are you to talk, Alandria? You kissed your best friend's man. Like,
But
oh
she
my,
wasn't there.
I know she doesn't know. It just would have been awesome if
But you wanted her. You're like,
somebody
I
to
just
say it.
wanted. Listen, if they don't give us movie night and show those clips, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah. So the thing about it is now we're going to talk about this, and we're going to have this is group participation. We expect participation in the chat, and everybody listening at home. We are about to pull up our lovely crew. We had a vote. I want everybody to first off tell me who you voted for. Let me know in the chat. Who did you vote for? First off, who was the girl you voted for?
Yeah,
I'm not
that's
gonna
what I want to know.
I'm not gonna know. I'm not gonna tell you the girl that I voted for because I don't want Serenity to call me out again. So we're not talking about that. That being said, everybody in the chat, everybody at home listening, which girl did you vote for? We're gonna read them off here. Ashley, what girl did you vote for?
I voted for Amaya. Amaya Papaya, baby. Love her.
That doesn't surprise me. Aaliyah voted for Amaya. DJ voted for Andriana.
Adriana.
Not surprised that Adriana. Sorry. DJ, that does not surprise me at all. Savannah voted for Amaya as well. Okay. Now that we got some girl votes, I voted for Huda. Sorry, everybody.
I think everybody here knew that you voted for Huda.
KC voted for Amaya.
Did you even think about it when you were voting?
Me? No, it was a no-brainer. There's not another person I would have thought. Look at that. Layla. Lali, I hope it's Miss Gomez. We're just saying Miss Gomez. Miss Gomez voted for Huda. Look at that. I'm not the only one anymore.
Did anybody else vote for Huda?
Thank you, Miss Gomez. We appreciate your honesty on the chat. Look, we're just gonna. You know what? I'm gonna put it on there. We're gonna keep it up there for a minute too.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get you a shirt that says "I voted for Huda."
Exactly. You know what I mean? At least one of us made the right decision. All right. So here's our ladies. I'm going to try to remember all their names because we're confused of who half these people. I'm kidding. All right. So from left to right, obviously, we'll save the best for last. You see what I did there, guys? Again. Yeah. All right. We have Grayson, Iris, Sierra, Amaya, Alandria, Adriana, Shelly.
Jaden.
There we go. I had no clue who that was. Forgot she's on the show. Clark. And then, of course, Queen Huda. All right, so I want everybody to tell me who in the chat, who's going to be the bottom 3 in the group. And I want, Ashley, you're going to start us off here. Who's going to be the bottom 3? From the leading votes, obviously, who's the bottom 3?
I'm thinking Jaden, Grayson, Clark. Not a lot of people care about Clark. Sorry.
So you think Grayson?
These are like bottom. I'm saying like the bottom that are can possibly be sent home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I would say the bottom would Grayson, Jaden, Clark, Adriana.
Savannah hit it. Alandria, Shelly, Sierra, just from what I see on social media. DJ say Huda. That's not happening. Huda's on the up and up, DJ. Sorry. Huda,
DJ,
Grayson,
as much as we don't care much for Huda, they are definitely keeping her to the end.
All right. So here, I am going to make the most interesting prediction here. I think one of the 3 of Shelly, Alandria, and Sierra are going to be on there. I think Sierra is going to be in the bottom 3.
Because of last night, correct?
Because of last night. I think Sierra is going to be it's going to be the Sierra or Alandria will be in the bottom 3. And then I'm going to go probably probably Jaden because forgot she was on the show, and probably people forgot she was on the show and probably wouldn't have voted for her. And then I'm going to say the other person will be. I really don't care. Grayson. I think Grayson will be the other one. I don't know. I think Sierra though. They do have a lot of ship fans, but Sierra will not be before Alandria. I know. I'm taking a risk in saying Sierra, but I just feel like, yeah. Yeah, I think Sierra. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, Sierra. She's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. She is like Taylor. She's the Taylor of the group. I don't think she's Nick. I think Alandria is Nick. That's beside the point. All right, everybody in the chat, we know what to do now. We got the guys. We're gonna vote. Everybody, let us know in the chat who you voted for. Obviously, from the guy side of things. I can keep pressing the wrong button. Let us know what guy you voted for. What about Clark? I don't think Clark's going anywhere. I think Clark and Taylor are gonna be on the rise. I think they're gonna be on the rise. People are canceling Sierra. I know that too. All right. From left to right. Hang on, I'll make sure I'm gonna go this way.
Who did you vote for?
For guys?
Yeah. Let me guess. Wait. You voted for Ace?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I almost voted for Chris. I do love all these.
Okay, so I voted for Chris.
I voted for Chris. Which also is the first time I have not voted for Nick this year, by the way, everybody. I want to let everybody know that's the first time I did not vote for Nick. Nick hurt my feelings. All right, left to right. We have Taylor, Austin, Pepe, Nick, Chris, Zach, Ace, Brian, some random person, and then TJ. Wait a minute.
That's Elon. He just doesn't have the curls out. Yes.
Timu Jack Harlow, baby.
He needs to keep this hairstyle. I'm not even kidding. He needs to.
Yeah, you can land a plane on that Oh, I'm sorry. No bullying. Sorry, guys. Sorry, guys. There's no bullying. I forgot. We're not bullying people for their looks. I apologize.
No bullying.
Yes, I voted for Ace. Everybody, I voted for Ace. I love Ace. All right, let's see. Let's catch up here. We got people here. We got Savannah voted for Chris. Alea voted for Chris. Casey voted for Pepe. King Cash says Pepe, Austin, and TJ can go. TJ, Austin, and Zach Efron. I'm assuming that's Timu Jack Harlow. All right, for me. All right, I'll kick it off with the guys. I'm going to take a look at this real quick. Let me get it in depth. All right, so to me, Zach's going to be in the bottom three. Okay, you don't mess with Amaya Papapaya and get away with it. Sorry, buddy. And to be honest with you, I think he's going home. See you later. Sayonara.
And I hope so.
Let's see who else we have here. The other one, obviously, Timu Jack Harlow is definitely going to be in that bottom three. Give me a third. This is a little bit harder. I wish it'd be Austin.
So you said Zach?
Elon. Zach. Yes.
And Austin?
Ace is not 5'10". I love Ace, but my goodness, bro.
Austin, maybe?
I hope so, man. I forgot Zach was here. He's definitely leaving.
Yes. Zach needs to go. After
Pepe
what he
put last
night.
I'm sorry. I said sorry, Savannah. No, Austin. I just don't think that he's going to be. I don't know. He might have a certain fan base voting for him each week. Shit. All right. Give me your bottom three.
My bottom three would be Zach, Brian, and Elon, I guess.
Why y'all hating on Zach? Because of the way he treated Amaya Papapaya. And and I like the man cook. DJ, you're killing me, man. Yeah, Zach was on Big Brother. Yeah. He was on Big Brother. He's on Big Brother UK. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Savannah, I like to pretend Austin is no longer here. I really do. The question is this: can we how many people do we think are going home?
They need to send a good amount of people home. They need to send 3 people home. There isn't room for anyone. Savannah, they got people sleeping outside.
Savannah, I know my joke is coming back to the table now, Savannah. How dare you put Ace in the bottom three?
Yeah, no, Jimmy, I definitely agree with you. Jimmy says Zach never liked anyone. I don't think he liked anyone either.
I'm hoping they send 2 men, 2 women. King Cash says 3 minimum. I don't like Elon. He's a little evil elf in there. Dwayne says 6, 3 minimum each side. I'm good with that. I am perfectly fine
Yeah,
with
I'm
6
good
people
with
going
that.
home. Because honestly, with this many people, we're not getting enough screen time for everybody either.
That's why you didn't even realize that was Elon. So definitely Brian will go home.
Ooh.
I feel.
I can see that.
Elon and Zach, they don't have any connections. And if that's the case, then but wait, if they go home, who is that gonna leave Amaya with?
I mean, because she's thought about exploring with Brian too, right? Brian's her other new.
No,
Is
I
it
think it
Brian?
was Elon. No, Elon.
Oh yeah, send both of them home.
Oh, DJ said Brian is trying to get with Amaya.
Yeah, I thought it was Brian. I thought it was Brian
Okay.
too.
Okay. No, I forget because I remember the conversation between Brian and Chris, and they were like, Amaya is so beautiful, blah 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 blah. But
Yeah. God, don't say it too loud. You might get in trouble for saying you have feelings for somebody out loud.
I hate that for her.
Yeah, I hate it for Huda too.
Amaya, there's a difference between sensitive and crazy. Yes.
I agree with that. She is, but I will say I do, and I said this. She is too much, in my opinion, but she'll be just enough for the right person. You know what I mean? That's what it is, and that right person's definitely nobody's mature enough, and not to say handle. I don't know the right word to say. Okay, nobody's mature enough in this house to kind of quote unquote handle what she brings to the table. I'll say it like that. Does Brian get more votes than Austin after defending Amaya? I don't know. I really hope so. God, nothing would make me happier than seeing Austin go home, guys. Nothing. I will be on this podcast dancing around like, yeah. All right. All right. What else do we have to add to this? I don't think anything else. We've gone almost to an hour, Ashley. Just a couple programming
it
notes.
Was enough. It was a lot to talk about.
It was. This was a big episode. It was one of the bigger episodes. I'm glad we decided to wait to talk about this because last night we were fuming. We were hate texting each other, not towards each other, but
not towards each other, but like, are you serious?
I cannot believe this. Yes. Yeah. So
it was crazy.
As always, I just want to send a special shout out to everybody in the chat. You guys make this immensely fun. Don't get me wrong. Taylor FTW, exactly, DJ. My thing is this, I appreciate you guys in the chat. Don't get me wrong, we are having a blast with this. Love Island is on the verge of being on the end, and we are going to have some announcements coming soon about what we're going to be covering. We'd love to hear from you guys and what you think we should cover as well. We're going to be going live every Sunday, no matter what shows we're watching. We're going to be going live, breaking those shows down. If there's something of importance that comes up, we might, fall in line with some of the stuff in there, but we're here to stay. We're hoping you are as well. Is it even over? Did Nick get any letters? Yeah, it was weird. Like Nick didn't get it. Zach did. Zach was gone. Zach got letters, but it wasn't shown.
Iris, TJ.
Well, that's because nobody likes any of those people. We don't even know who any of those people are, really. I mean, at the end of the day. But that being said, I appreciate everybody tuning in to another episode of Love and Reality Podcast. We have a very special episode coming in the very, very near future. Thanks to my good co-host here, Ashley. We have a special podcast coming very soon. We can't talk about it quite yet. We will soon. It'll release probably early next week. Perfect Match is coming August 1st. We will be covering that 100%. It drops on Fridays, which is the perfect way for us to cover on Sundays. It will be dropping in 3 different batches. We will be right here covering it every Sunday night. I look forward to it. It's going to be awesome. We already did an episode where we did the ultimatum. We broke down the cast as well of the Perfect Match. It was a podcast episode as well, also available here on YouTube. I'm just rambling at this part. Ashley, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll be back Sunday. Hopefully, an interesting episode will be for us as we're both going to be on vacation-ish, but we're here to cover it. Big Brother, I don't know. Ashley and I haven't really discussed what our next steps are, but
I'm a really big Brother fan. So
wait, you are?
I am.
Oh man. Uh oh, guys.
We just applied pressure.
You guys are applying real.
No. Thanks, chat.
Yeah, first Serena's calling me out. Now Savannah's calling. Man, we might have to. We're gonna have some fun. That's all I know is we're gonna have a lot of fun, and we thank you guys for continuously joining us in the chat. Thank you guys so much, and we'll be back. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We're not gonna be back yet. We got to give Ashley the floor before we go. I'm sorry.
How did you forget?
I almost forgot. And you know what? I'm gonna do a little new thing too. We're gonna give Ashley the floor to close out the podcast. Final thoughts.
My final thoughts are there's too many people in the house. A good amount of people need to go home. I still love Shelly. I still love Alandria. I take back what I said about Taylor. I'm happy he stood up for himself. And Austin still needs to go home.
Preach.